And now I'm going to talk to you about a book that works a whole lot better than any phone book or any giant city map that you put on the wall. It's called the Subdivision Book. And and this is what it's supposed to look like right here on the first page. The first thing you do is you open to the table of units. Within the table of units, it shows you where the different units are located in the book. You start with neighborhood maps, famous places, building locations, history of the city, major streets, neighborhood boundaries and intersections, and the list of other major cities. We'll start here with the very first one of the areas, the first unit, and it's the list of the city maps in Portland, Oregon. Right here on the very on on the page to the left, it has the list of the neighborhoods, and that tells you what the different neighborhoods and where they are and what page they're on so you can find it. The page on the right is the map legend as shown right here on this page. As you can see, it looks a lot more accurate and you can find things a lot better too. It makes more sense because then you don't have to you don't have to think too hard. The vicinity is right there. The next page on the left side, it's got Portland and vicinity, and that's basically what the area looks like from up above and what you can see. All the major streets there are that you need to see. The page to the right is where downtown part of the city is. In the map area, all the neighborhood maps are in alphabetical order, but they always start with downtown. Sometimes it's divided, into 2-3 parts. Then it goes into Midtown, which is often divided into 2-3 parts too. Then comes the international airport, if there is one in that city. Not all big cities have one that's international or even national. Some have ones that are only regional. The one after that is the municipal airport, and that's usually the smaller one. The rest of the pages there all go from A to Z in the neighborhoods. As shown on each page, you may be surprised at how it works. The top of the page in capital letters indicates the name of the neighborhood, and then the names, and it's all in block form. The names along the edges indicate what neighborhood is the boundary, or actually what neighborhood is next door to it. Yeah. And the number inside the box indicates what page it's on. If there's no number there, that means it's not in the book. It's in a different county. The next unit is famous places in the city, like the big dance hall, like the palace and such. Any place that may look like a wonderful place to go see. And each one page looks like this, only it actually has the picture and not just the words. Every famous building looks different. This is just a sample. And then the third unit is building locations. They're listed the same way referenceusa.com does. And here's how they're all listed. Name, address, city, street, interstate, zip code, phone number. Just like they do on referenceusa.com. And there's no ads. So that means you can find things a lot easier. It's easier to find things on a database. All the businesses, especially the ones that kind of expand out, start from A and go to Z. And then the last page shows where the where the single location buildings are, like the airport, like the police department, the correction center, and the courthouse. Those are all single location buildings. And so they're at the end where you can see them. Yeah. The fourth unit is the history of the city, and it usually has an average of like 10 chapters. Some have more, some have less. And basically it describes what the city used to look like. And each chapter starts out as shown here. The last part we have is the major streets, neighborhood boundaries, and intersections of the city. There may be lots of streets in a city, but only some of them are major because they're arterials, they go all the way through. And either that or maybe they're pretty much known. Some of them are only major in that particular part of town, but most of them tell you what's there. And of course, the neighborhoods in the city, incorporated or non, have a north-south and east-west boundary line, just like a lot of the neighborhoods you do. Yeah, the street basically is where the boundary line of the incorporation or non-incorporation is. Now that now that the city's grown, and that's the way it goes. And this is the way they have them all listed. The major streets always go street name on the sign and speed, as up to the typical speed limit on there. The neighborhoods always go name, north and south boundary, east and west boundary. People even put the list of the intersections, basically traffic signal located, in a book too. And that goes name, north and south intersection, east and west, date of installation. And finally, the very last unit in the book is a list of the other major cities with subdivision books, ones you can get on Amazon.com. You can also find these in the store. In fact, it'll be part of our plans to replace all the candy with subdivision books at the counter, so we won't be able to take advantage of anybody's inability to restrain. They're very handy in motels too, because in motels, you can look and learn about the city and find where you want to go if you don't have all the time to visit. They're also found in travel stores, so you can see what they're like, and they can sell pretty well. They're easy to use, and you turn pages on them. Unlike on a big giant map, you have to fold and unfold so many times, and eventually they wear out and fall to pieces. But the subdivision book, you can turn pages a lot easier, and it's easier to find things too.